Well, I was working at a clothing store back in the day, and I was in a band with Rio beforehand. That was a little smaller, like local band, and we did a lot of stuff around town. And then eventually, Rio ended up joining Cities Never Sleep and taking a break from us. And um, one day he just like came over and told me about his band, and he was showing me some tracks from it. And I was sitting there like, man, I could really get into this. I wish I was kind of part of this project. And you know, it just so turns out that later they lost a bunch of members and they were looking for somebody to come in and play guitar and help sing. And Rio suggested to Pat to come check me out, so he came and asked me, and I went and practiced with Pat. And then a couple days later, we were already getting ready for our first show, and we got that all hammered out. And then I guess that's where we are now. The new album is called How the Midwest Was Won, and to me, I think we called it How the Midwest Is Won because we just feel like we've been starting to try to build up like a following up around the Midwest. You know, like it's definitely not a huge following, but like the following we do have is awesome. Like anybody who listens to our music, comes to our MySpace, like does any of that stuff. Like they're all just sweet people, and they come and support. They tell other people that we're doing stuff when we release a new song. They're like telling their friends and stuff, and it's I don't know, I guess that's all I have to say about that, Jack. Well, I think for me this is really just messed up, but my favorite part about this whole recording process was I got to use an heirloom accordion that was given to me by my grandma, and I got to use it on the chorus of like one of the songs that I really like and that I put a lot into. And I got to bust that thing out and actually get it down in history, like in sound form. And it's just awesome that I was able to, they were, we used an accordion in our recording. That's just cool for me, I guess, and I got to actually sit down and do this. This is my first studio experience, like real studio. Like we did a couple things before this, but this is the first real production we've done, and I'm just really stoked that we went out with a bang, like a really bizarre bang, but we went out with a bang. So my favorite right now would have to be a track called Safe Bet, and it is, I don't know, it's just really awesome. We we messed with a bunch of writing techniques we've never used before. Like we did a lot of octaves, and we did some sweet harmonies that you find in like a Beach Boys song or like something like that. We got to actually mess around and just use our imaginations a little bit and try to write outside the box. And I'm feeling really good about that track so far. So hopefully you guys like it as much. You guys like it as much as we're also stoked on it. So. I started playing guitar when I was like 14-ish. When I was in 7th grade, I took a guitar class in elementary school, or not elementary school, middle school, and that just sort of kicked me off, and I didn't really do much with it. And then I started playing a little more, and I hung out with some kids in town that were like really into it also, and they started to like show me how to do some stuff, and I just started picking it up, and I started playing a little more, and I had an accident once where I had bought a knife set and I was testing them out, and I had hacked the tip of my finger off just trying to cut up, like, do a demo for my friends and shit, just being dumb. And I hacked the tip of my finger off, and that's when I started experimenting with singing because I had to take a break from guitar for a little bit. So that was, about maybe 16, something like that. And ever since then, I've just been trying to teach myself, like, how to get a little better, like, without any help, because I'm dirt poor, and like I can't really pay for lessons, so I'm self-taught, and it's just fun because I get to actually sit down and like this entire musical journey. It's been my entire process. Nobody else has like been able to come in and like help me with it yet. So it's really music's very personal to me. So that's how I roll with it. That's what I think about the whole process. Well, my favorite artists, all in all, is John Mayer. He's my personal god. Nobody can talk me down from that. But a lot of other bands I really like to listen to is I really get into Radiohead, and I love The Audition. Like those guys just plug. Anyway, I love the audition. Those guys, like Danny, his vocals are just, awe-inspiring to me. So it's just good stuff. I love Bayside a lot. Like another band that's influenced me a lot. And like a local band, Motion City Soundtrack. Like, well, they're not really local anymore. They're huge now, but I'll always love Motion City because they were like the Minnesota band. Like, let me know that bands can actually come out of Minnesota. Like, it's not just like some far-fetched fantasy sort of thing. And that's I like Ben Folds and a lot of other stuff like that. I usually don't listen to stuff that's very upbeat. I usually listen to a lot of relaxed, sort of thinky stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is the first album I've actually done with a producer in a studio for full production. This is like, getting every single cent out of what we're paying for. And I guess the hardest part for me was just I've never been under the microscope with somebody else like looking at the process of what we do and trying to help us like refine our sound. And it's just usually I'm used to doing a lot of the stuff like recording our sessions and doing all that. And the hardest part for me was just like trying to gauge myself to be able to let go of ideas when somebody else has one. Just try to be a little more open-minded towards the whole process. And that's pretty much the key in the studio is you need to be open-minded because you're going to have ideas coming from everybody and the producer, and you just got to work with it and just take that to make it into a better idea altogether. Well, basically, I just love making music. Like this is what I want to do for like as long as I can possibly do this and support myself. I love playing music for people. I love writing music that people can relate to, and I just love writing music just for myself. And it's what I get out of this band is I get to hang out with all my best friends. I get to drive on the road and take like month-long vacations from work and just do whatever and just be on the road and play for people and make people happy. And that's all I could ever really ask for. I really, really liked Boston when I went. We've never been out like west, but I love San Diego too. But I'd love to get out there sometime with the guys and experience the West Coast thing. As far as places we've played, I really love playing Minneapolis. Like just around, it's just awesome because that's where like a lot of the bands I looked up to back in the day like started pioneering and just really starting to hit the scene with. And if I was going to a big show, it was in Minneapolis, and then playing in Minneapolis is just kind of like it's weird because I used to go watch shows there, and now I'm playing shows in Minneapolis, and I'm getting a bunch of kids to come out, and I'm just seeing a bunch of faces that remind me of just me and my friends going out to see shows in Minneapolis back in the day. I don't do a whole lot. Like I work a job that's week on, week off. So one week I just work an entire like 80 hours worth of work, and then the next week I just get to relax and I just play music and listen to music and just kind of hang out with all the guys from the band, and Pat and I will get together every once in a while and like we'll try to just hang out and just keep it, I don't know, take it easy. It's like when we're not on the road, that's when we're just supposed to be home relaxing and enjoying our time with friends and family and stuff, and that's pretty much all I look for at home. That's all I've got there. So everything else I just like to be out playing all the time, so that's be nice to be able to go home and visit people. It's either between the very first tour with all of these shenanigans that happened. Rio and I ended up getting into a little bind with the law, and I ended up spending a night in jail, and that was just awesome. Like, most people would be ashamed to say it, but honestly, it was an experience in itself, and I don't feel that the crime was that heinous, so I feel that it's okay to talk about this. But that was great. Like that tour just had so much like that happened that we were able to just write home about it. It was a really exciting tour to be able to just go out and like experience it for the first time. And then the tour after that, we went out to the East Coast and we really got to experience like how a really bad tour can be. And I think that the second tour that we went on to the East Coast with a band called Represent was probably my favorite because we got to see the worst tour in progress. Like we had shows where we were playing to tables, like there's nobody there. Like the sound guy was even over it. He was just like just turning the fader down as we were mid set, and like we're just it's that sort of you can't control that, but I mean that's it's just a good experience to be able to go out and look back on it and say, you know what, that was really fun just being able to go out. We basically took a month-long vacation to go play for nobody. Taco Bell.
I'm just gonna leave it as Taco Bell. Next question.
Taco Bell, please do. I love you guys. You're awesome. Like, you are the reason we can do this stuff, and I just think it's just great because I was one of those guys back in the day who would just go out and check out bands all the time and be able to, you know, just support them. You felt like you were a part of something. You felt like you were feeding a fire that could just keep going, and that's what you guys are doing. You are building us up to what we are right now, and if you keep supporting, we'll be able to keep growing, and that's really what it's all about. So, thank you.